So in yesterday's session, we discussed about accounting calendar and currency, right? And when we talk about accounting calendar, we have to understand the financial year, period type, and how many additional periods they require, adjustment periods. And when we talk about currency, the currencies are classified into functional foreign. Reality, those are the currencies. And stat currency, if you are going to enter any statistical information in the system, that we have to address with the currency called as stat currency. Reality is not currency, but just we call that non-monetary measurements with the name called as stat currency. Where exactly we use the stat currency, we'll discuss. And accounting calendar, we have to create whatever for any client you work, just definitely we have to create the accounting calendar based on the country financial year. When it comes to currency, we no need to create any currencies. All currencies are available in the system. Those simply you can call as predefined currencies. Okay, whatever Oracle is providing, that you can call as predefined, and you can use the other term called as seeded. Okay, all currencies information is available in the system as a seeded information. Okay, all currencies information is available as a seeded information. So these are the points we have to understand. Now let's talk about description. We already discussed, when you create the transaction, we have to capture the date and we have to capture the amounts. To capture the date, we use accounting calendar. When you enter the amounts, to address that amount is belongs to which currency, we have to use the concept called as currency. All currencies by default enabled, we no need to enable in the Fusion environment. Now let's talk about description. When you talk about the transaction creation, so date and amount with a currency specification we have to enter. Along with that, very important element is description. So if it is related to person, simply we can write so and so we purchased or so and so sale sold, etc., etc. But when it comes to organization, we have to track information more detail level. Okay, we have to track the information more detail level. Say description. So we have to track the information very detailed level that we require for different purposes. Okay. So to analyze something or to produce the reports, okay, in the different aspects, the detailed information is very much required. Say now we are purchasing something. So what are the key details we have to include in the organization? We'll see, for example, if you take company called as XYZ INC, say XYZ INC is doing the different businesses, for example. Say they are into XYZ ANC consulting. They are into consulting business. XYZ ANC, say constructions. XYZ ANC, say BPO services. This is how they may be into multiple businesses, or simply you can say different vertical of businesses. Now, okay, let's take this example. They are into three different businesses. And to operate these different businesses, definitely they have to go for different departments. Say they have a departments like finance department, HR department, sales department, marketing department. And when they have a consulting, construction, BPO services, and to run those businesses, they have a different departments, and through those departments, they do different activities. Okay, the activities what they are doing the sales, purchases, spending expense, and many activities, paying the salaries, paying the expense. There will be a number of activities. Okay, so those are all activities you can record in the system basically as accounts. Okay, what are the different, whatever the activity they do, they'll record in their books as a account. Say they are paying the salaries to the employee, so they maintain the salaries account. They are spending something for travel expense, they'll just maintain travel expense account. Okay, so they are purchasing computers, so they'll maintain an account called as computers purchase. Okay, they are selling the computers other side. Okay, computer sales. And So when you say computer, it can be laptop, desktop. In the same way, say they are selling phones also. Say iPhone sales. This is how there will be a number of activities which you can see in the organization to capture each and every activity they are doing, and to produce the reports or for various purposes. Those we have to maintain in the system as a different accounts. Each activity, each different activity which we do in the organization, that activity related amounts, if you want to capture into the system or if you want to track in the books, you have to maintain the separate accounts for that. So this is how there will reality. When you look at any organization, there will be hundreds and thousands and lakhs of accounts which they maintain. That totally depends what are the various business activities they are doing in their organization. So this is how you can have a number of accounts. Going forward in our classes, we'll come across all those accounts, reality, what accounts companies maintains. I'll take you through all those. Now for our understanding, to understand about the description of the transaction, what are the information we required, we are going to discuss, and very soon we'll come to know many other relevant points. Right. Okay. So, please go on mute. Please. Somebody's unmuted. Please. The same way, say they are operating the business in the different location. Okay, different location. Say our client is operating the business in US. Say they're running the business in the say Dallas, Austin, etc. Different cities you can take. And in the same way, they might be just uh, running the business, and they might be doing some activity. Say when they are into consulting, okay, or when they are into construction, they do these services. Okay, they do these all services as a projects, right? They do all these activities as a projects. So they want to, when they are spending some expense, that expenses belongs to which project. If they want to capture, we can create a different account called a different element called as projects also. Okay, so some consulting related, that may be some Oracle related. They are dealing, the client is dealing with the different, say, .NET. They are dealing with the .NET projects. They are dealing with SAP projects. They are dealing with JD Edwards. Okay, this is how, just if they are into handling the projects for a client. Okay, handling the projects for a client, they'll have a specific names. Here for our understanding, I'm just giving the different product names. They're doing the consulting services for which is software products. Okay, or else when you talk about constructions, again they will have a separate names for that. Those all they can take as a projects. So this is how, just in the description, what key information they want to include, they have to keep ready in the system. Okay, they have to keep the information ready in the system. Once they keep this information ready in the system, when they are going to record the transactions, they can pick. If they are going to record the business transaction in the system, simply what they can do is, this transaction we are doing for which company? Say for example, consulting. Simply they can select XYZ Consulting. This transaction belongs to which department? HR department. What activity we are doing? Salaries we are paying. Okay, that is belongs to which location? Or this is how they can record. In this scenario, maybe they no need to select any project as Oracle, .NET and all. Wherever it is applicable, they'll select. Say for example, they are going to record one more transaction, that is related expense. They can select the expenses belongs to which entity or which business. That may be XYZ, it's related to constructions. And which department is spending? Finance department. What exactly they are doing? Travel expense. Okay, the where that is happening, say in the Austin location. That expenses belongs to any project? Yes. Maybe those are belongs to .NET or Java, etc. So this is how they can capture key information which is really required for their every transaction, so that they'll be able to account them and they can produce the reports as per their internal and external reporting requirements. Okay, So whatever the information we are capturing in the transaction description, that should be useful for internal and external reporting purpose. So this is the point we have to understand here. So this is all about very generic information. Now you can put the titles for this. Now XYZ consulting, constructions, these all, for all these what we can give. These are the different companies. Within the companies, these are the vertical of businesses, okay, or say line of businesses. They simply for this all these you can give the title as companies. Okay, companies. Instead of writing companies, I'll say company. Okay. So XYZ Consulting is one company. It's a part of company, but right, just you can name it as a company. The same way, all these are the departments. I can give the title as a department. These all are accounts. Account. These are locations. Say location. These are projects. Project. So when you record the business transaction, when I record any business transaction, what details we want to capture for our reporting purpose, those details you can maintain in the system as a predefined, and the information is what? These all details are what? These all details are belongs to accounts. So put the title as accounts. These all are departments. Put the title as a departments or say department. You can go with a singular. So these all are companies. Say put the title as a company. This is how you can put all this. If you are going to okay, this all belongs to which company? This all are belongs to say this, all the departments, all the companies, all the accounts. These are the locations and projects are belongs to whom? That may be XYZ and C group. You can give the entire title for this complete information. For this, you are giving the title. For these departments, you are giving the title as department. For this information, you are giving the title as accounts. For all these details are belongs to which enterprise, which organization, that you can give as a title. So this is how we have to maintain in the system. This is how we have to maintain the system. If you are going to maintain this information in the system, there should be some future. Okay, there should be certain future. To maintain to capture the date in the system, we have one feature called as accounting calendar. With the help of accounting calendar, you can maintain the periods, dates when we are going to record the transaction. So you can select the transactions belongs to which period and the transactions belongs to which date. This is how you can capture. So the same way, when we are going to record the transaction, to capture the description, what details you want to include into the include into the transaction, so that you have to keep ready in the system. So if you are going to maintain these details in the system, what feature will help us, in which application we have that feature, and what we have to create, and what is the naming convention as per system, we will discuss now. Okay, we'll discuss those points. So I'll take your questions after explaining that point. That is very important. Okay, once we discuss those points, I'll take your questions. Fine. So if you want to maintain all these details in the system, if you want to maintain all these details, okay, in the system, what description related details, we have one feature called as accounting key flex field. Okay, accounting key flex field. In short, you can call as KFF. KFF stands for key flex field. You can call it as accounting key flex field, or you can call it as accounting KFF. KFF means key flex field. So ideally we call it as, when you talk about just key flex field, instead of calling as key flex field, you can call as KFF. When you call it as accounting key flex field, call it as accounting key flex field only. Don't call it as accounting KFF. We don't never use that such kind of terminology by combining these two words. Okay. When you say key flex field, instead of saying key flex field, call it as KFF. When you include the term called as accounting, say accounting key flex field only. By using accounting key flex field, we can maintain all these details in the system. Okay. When you maintain all these details, if you want to maintain all these details, like maintaining the companies and putting the title as companies, maintaining all the departments, keeping the title as department, maintaining all the accounts, keeping the title as account, for all this complete information, giving the title as XYZ as a group. Okay, if you want to maintain the system, what feature is required in our applications? Accounting key flex field. Where we have this accounting key flex field feature, we have this feature within the application called as general ledger application, or say Oracle Fusion general ledger application. General ledger means you can say GL. In Oracle Fusion general ledger application, that means in GL application, we have one feature called as accounting key flex field. Accounting key flex field. If you maintain all these details in our accounting key flex field with the help of general ledger application. Within the general ledger application, we have one feature called as accounting key flex field. With the help of accounting key flex field, we can maintain all these details. All these details, when you maintain within this accounting key flex field, we call with one name, that is chart of accounts. Chart of accounts, COA. Okay. So when you maintain all these details within this accounting key flex field, that we call as chart of accounts. What is the name? Chart of accounts. Really, this information is related to chart for only accounts? No. This is not only chart for accounts. It is chart for companies. Okay. This is chart for departments. This is a list of locations, list of projects. But here, out of all these details, what activity we are doing is very, very important. Okay, which company is doing, that is also important, but before company, what we are doing, that is very important. Okay, that we can represent with account. That is the reason, even if you have a company, department, account, location, project, instead of calling it as a chart of company, chart of department, or chart of company, department, account, location, project, simply we are calling it as chart of accounts. Don't think chart of accounts means it is chart, it is a list for accounts. Along with the account, what are the other information is very important in your organization, that details also you can have within the chart of accounts. That means within the chart of accounts, not only accounts, along with accounts, you can have companies, departments, location, projects. Apart from these, anything else you want to capture as a part of transaction, those also you can include within the chart of accounts. Okay. So we have application called as Oracle Fusion General Ledger application. Within that Oracle Fusion General Ledger application, we have a feature called as accounting key flex field. Okay. Within the accounting key flex field, if you are going to maintain all these details, that you can call it as chart of accounts. So here, when you talk about all these details, we have a titles. So all these details are belongs to this XYZ INC group. But what we are doing, we are classifying the data. Okay, this data is related to companies, this data is belongs to departments, this data is belongs to accounts. That means we are classifying, we are segregating, or you can say we are segmenting. Okay, we are doing the segmentation, separation. So that is the reason all the titles what we have for this data, okay, these titles as per chart of accounts we call as segments. Okay, if you take this complete information we call a chart of accounts. Within this, for all companies, whatever the title we have, that is a company, that we call as one segment as per chart of accounts. For this department, whatever the title we are giving, that we call as a segment. For accounts, whatever the title we are giving, that we call as segment. Okay, what are the titles we are giving for the data what we classified or segregated, the titles we call as segments. Now if you take the current example, how many segmentations we did? 5 segmentation. Companies we separated, departments we separated, accounts we separated, locations we separated, projects we separated. If client wants to capture a few additional other information also as a part of transaction, that also you can take as a separate segment. Under that, the relevant data you can maintain. So that means when you this complete information, what you could see as a selected, that total information when you maintain in the system that we call a chart of accounts. Within the chart of account, there is segmentation. These we call as segments. This I can call as company segment. This is the department segment. This is the account segment. This is the location segment. This is the project segment. So these all we call as a segments as per system, or you can say as per chart of accounts. Okay, fine. This is one of the segment, company segment. Under company segment, all companies we have. This is a department segment. Under department segment, we have all the department information. As per system, under company segment, what are the information we have? Those all the companies as per chart of accounts we call as segment values. Sorry, segment values. So this is a company segment. Under that, what are the companies we have? Those we call as company segment values. This is a department segment. These values are department segment values. These are account. This is account segment. Under account segment, whatever we have, those are account segment value. This is a location segment. Under that, whatever we have, those are location segment value. This is a project segment. Under that, whatever we have, those are project segment values. Okay. So this is a terminology we have to remember. Okay, this is a terminology we have to remember. That's how we could see in the instance also. Okay, once we start working on it, we will see directly all these in the system. Okay, so we call it as a segment values. There are few other points also. Okay, we'll try to include few now, or else better we can discuss later. But now you take this. So when is the right time to understand certain point, accordingly I'll include. But now take these points. Once we start working on the system, I'll include few more points to this, then that makes sense. Now I can explain, but it will be little bit difficult for at least few guys. I don't want to mess the content when you try to understand. So for now you take these points. Okay, for now take this point. So very simple point. Now what we have to discuss is, if you want to capture the date, we have to create the calendar. If you want to capture the amounts, we have to set the currency. If you want to capture the description, when you record the transaction, if you want to capture the description, what we need chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, you can have a segments. Under segments, you can have a segment values. So when you are going to record the transaction, our job will become easy. When you talk about segments and segment values, what ideally we do is we'll give the all company names and we'll give the company codes. Maybe you can give 1, 2, 3, or else 100, 200, 300, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000. This is how you can give the numbering. I'll give the numbers like for this company 1, okay, and company 2, company 3. For departments also, I'll give the numbering 1. Just wait for a second. So let me complete this. So company, the department 3, department 4. These and all will maintain within our chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, what we'll do, we'll maintain create the segments. Under segment, we'll create the segment values for each segment value. It could be company or a department account. Will provide the numbering. Okay, like this 1, 2, 3. Let me write this one time so that we can discuss. The same way, how many locations they have, further they can give the numbering. It may be 1, 2, 3 or 10, 20, 30, etc. Okay. Say 2 locations. Say they are into different projects. All the transaction may not be belongs to projects, right? In that case, we can put one more value, maybe as a 0, none. or not applicable, you can put like this. So this is how you can create the chart of accounts. Within that, you can create the segments, which data you want to capture in each and every transaction. For that, you can create the separate segments. Under that, you can maintain the relevant data. Okay, under that, you can maintain the relevant data. Say now I'm going to record a transaction. I'll capture the date. Okay, from the calendar, I'll capture the date. Okay, 20th October 2021. I'll capture from my calendar. And the description. So I no need to select all those. I'll predefine. I'll create all these chart of accounts one time in the system. So every time I no need to write anything. Simply I'll select 1 dot, 3 dot. 1 means company. 1 means XYZ Consulting. Next 3 I selected. Next segment is department. 3 means sales department. And I am taking dot 4. 4 means next segment is account. In the account 4 means computer sales. And next I'll take location as a 1. 1 means Dallas location. And 0. 0 means it's not belongs to this transaction. The sales is not belongs to any project. None. So this is how simply you can record the transaction. You don't need to select XYZ Consulting and names. You don't need to write it dynamically. You don't need to write it. Nothing. Just simply for each and every segment related values, you can give the segment codes, segment value, each and everything you can give the codes. When you record the transaction, you can capture the date from the calendar, and you can select the codes from the chart of accounts. In the chart of accounts, all the segment values, for each value you can maintain the unique numbering, and that numbers we call as a codes. We call as codes. You can select the codes and you can just enter the amount, maybe 25,000. What is this 25,000? So say USD dollars. That's all. So this is how simply we can enter the transaction. So everything we are predefining, we are keeping ready. Whenever it is required, we don't go on to start creating. At the time of implementation only, calendar will create and will keep it ready. Chart of accounts will create and will keep it ready. And what are the currencies required, will make sure that those are enabled. So this is all just all information you can keep ready in the system with the help of calendar, chart of accounts, and currency concept. Okay, there are many other points also which we have to understand, but we have time to discuss all those in this stage. This is what we have to understand. What exactly we discussed on that? Any queries from anyone, please? Any questions from anyone, please?
One question, Mr. Lakshman.
Please.
This COA is pertain. I mean, will this be associated with the project what we created, the implementation project?
I will explain that. Don't think on those points. Definitely, I should take care of that. Yes, your question is valid. Not to project. I'll answer to your question, but again, that is new for you. I'll say that we have to associate with the primary ledger. Now, your question is, what is the primary ledger? Okay. So that is the reason where we have to assign, we will assign there only, but we have to wait for some time. Now, what we are trying to understand is when you create the transaction, what information we have to capture, those we have to keep with which concept we are trying to understand, how it will lead, that we have to understand, we should understand, otherwise there is no meaning. For that we have time, that is the next step. Yeah, we'll start.
Okay, thank you.
We'll try to understand.
Sure.
Please. Yeah, thanks. Any other questions? Okay, so what are the points we discussed on that? Any questions from anyone, please? No questions. There should be at least few. Any questions here? Chart of accounts. What are the points we discussed? Any questions?
Hello, Lakshman sir. This is Manoj.
Yeah, Manoj, please.
I think it is always better to keep some future segment also, right?
Yeah, definitely. I explain. See, if I say that we have, once again we are going to discuss about chart of account, there I'll add it. It will become,
Okay, okay,
I'll
okay,
take
okay,
you
sir.
in the way how easily you can understand. Yeah. First, I'll show you how to create it. Then I will add few other points. That's what I said. Okay. Still, there is some other information which we have to understand. Okay. I'll cover everything. I'll cover everything. Just I'm introducing. That's all. I'm not closing this. I'm just introducing. I'll create in the system. Again, we are going to create the chart of accounts by adding different segments and reality how it works. Reality companies, how many segments they create, and what are those names, etc. I'll cover everything. Yeah. So
Hello, sir.
don't
Sir,
take
one
it
more.
negative way.
Hello,
What
Lakshman,
we are discussing, you can raise your questions on that. Beyond that, what are the information we have? Think I am going to cover. Yep. Yeah, please.
I think one quick question. Like regarding the suppose in this example you have taken 5 segments, right? So regarding the sequence, suppose first you have taken company, then department, another is account, then location and project. So sequence the sequence we're keeping, there must be some logic or based on the business requirement, we have to design that, right?
Exactly, exactly. See, if you are going to record something, some transaction, first it will belongs to department or company, which is a bigger one. In department, there won't be any company. In company's department would be there.
Okay, first.
Right? Yes or no? Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
In companies, department would be there. In the specific department, there will be activity. That is nothing but account. Yes, there will be the logic which you have to understand. What happens where, which is inside, which is outside of some other element.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accordingly,
Yeah.
I just given these points.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Any questions, please? Okay, there is a lot of information which you have to understand.
Lakshman sir,
Reality,
so this is general. I just want to know, like,
please, sorry.
so what is general ledger in a short?
General ledger is one of the application. Okay, one of the application.
Okay.
Just take the name and remember. Maybe after this, I'll complete 2-3 sessions. After 2-3 sessions,
Okay.
we are going to work on the business processes. We are going to work on, in the sense, we are going to discuss. There you will come to know what is the purpose of general ledger, what is the purpose of accounts payables, account receivables, etc., etc. Here, just I given name.
Okay. Okay.
These all belongs to finance applications. That's how I given the name in our previous classes. So slowly we'll understand one by one. Sorry for that. Just for now, just remember there is one application called as Oracle Fusion General Ledger. What we generally do in the General Ledger application will come to know. I'll explain about the process. There you will understand very high level. Once we start working on General Ledger application, it would be more clear for us. Yeah. So
Okay.
when
Okay.
when
Thank
you
you.
come across with a few terms, okay, new terms, just try to remember. I'm giving just name to remember. When you next time when I talk about Oracle Fusion General Ledger, so my expectation is you will identify. Then we can pick that and we can discuss. Yeah, fine.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks.
So one more question, like
Please.
we see like many segments will be there and many segment values will be there. How we will remember the sequence, like in the last 13410, like that you have mentioned, right?
Yeah. See, generally companies will be limited. Departments will be limited. The locations or projects also would be very much limited. Only that the too much of values always you see with the segment called as account. So there we go with a concept called as grouping. All expense accounts will go with one sequence. All revenue accounts will go with one sequence. All asset accounts will go with one sequence. All liability accounts will go with one sequence. We have time to discuss all those. There is a concept called as rapid implementation. There I am going to show you. There I am going to cover all those points. Yep,
Okay, sir. Thank you.
done. Any other questions?
Hello.
Please.
Hello.
Yeah.
Is what is the meaning of key flex field?
What is the
Meaning of key flex field, accounting key flex field.
yeah. I thought of explaining when we create the chart of accounts. Okay, no issues. Now we can discuss. See, key means very important. Okay, again, that very important data belongs to accounting. Accounting related very important information when we are going to maintain in the system. It will provide the flexibility to enter and maintain. See, this is a spreadsheet. This is spreadsheet. Here I can put the data in any format. In any format means whatever the format is possible. I written here. Under that I just taken these titles. Under that I written this. The same flexibility is required within our application also. That flexibility will be provided by this feature called as accounting key flex field to maintain our accounting information. When you say accounting information, that is a key information for company, very important information. Accounting information means very important. To maintain very important information, that is nothing but accounting information. This sort of hierarchy, top level this, under that these are 3 segments, under each segment these are the data. To maintain the data as it is, what we are able to see in this spreadsheet, in the same way, not only in the same way, the better way. What exactly better way will come to know very soon. So to provide this data and to maintain this data in the system environment, there is a flexibility with the help of certain fields that we are calling as a flex field. Flex field means the fields which got the flexibility to maintain the data by following certain format or hierarchy. That too, which type of data? Key data of the company. What is the key data of the company? Nothing but accounting information. Okay. A very important information which belongs to accounting, that data you can maintain in the system with a more flexible manner by following certain hierarchy. So to support that, what are the feature we are using that we call as accounting key flex field, or else ignore accounting, just talk about key flex field. Key flex field means to maintain the company key information, the fields which are available with more flexibility to enter and maintain, that we call as a key flex field. Okay, to maintain the key information in the system, whatever the feature we are using, that we call as key flex field, that ideally always accounting information. In other scenarios that is different also, we'll come to know about it. Okay, fine. Any other questions on the same point, or any other question, any questions from anyone, please? Okay, so even certain things, even if I explain in this stage, you don't understand. That is the reason I didn't.
Mr. Lakshman.
Don't take my just notes as a negative way. You may ask some questions. I may say I'll explain. There is a time, but don't disappoint. Definitely, I am going to cover. That is my target. You should understand each and everything. That is my target. So that is the reason certain things I am holding. Now I didn't plan for accounting key flex field. Once I create the chart of accounts in the accounting key flex field, if I explain, reality I no need to explain also. By seeing you can understand. If I give the note, this is the meaning of accounting key flex field, you can understand very easily. That is the reason I didn't touch that point. Since anyway you asked, I explained. If you understand, okay, or else ignore it. When I explain, as per my just plan or schedule of this discussion, you will understand. Yep. Fine. Yeah, please. Please go ahead.
Mr. Lakshman.
Yep.
Oracle Fusion General Ledger we are calling here.
Correct.
Is it not a Oracle General Ledger? Is there any difference between Oracle General Ledger in Release 12 and Oracle Fusion General Ledger?
If the same Oracle General Ledger is a part of Fusion product, include it as a Fusion. Otherwise, don't include. That is R12. That's all.
I didn't get you.
See, you know meaning of Fusion, right?
Hello. Yes. I didn't get you, sir.
No. I am asking the question.
Yes, we know.
Yeah, what do you mean by fusion?
Yeah, Fusion is a new application of Oracle.
Yeah, new application where Oracle took best solution from the different product and they combined and they built ultimate product called as Fusion. Now
Correct.
you have your EBS Oracle General Ledger application. Okay, that
Okay.
if you move to Fusion product, if you use the same into Fusion product, that will become Oracle Fusion General Ledger application. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, hi Lakshman.
Yes.
What is the
Uh,
difference? One second. Oracle General Ledger, if you use in EBS R12, how it would be if you are going to use Oracle Fusion General Ledger, if you are going to use Oracle General Ledger application Fusion, how this would be, you will understand when you start working on it. Okay. In R12, this Oracle General Ledger will be in which color? In Fusion, it would be in which color? I mean to say color means some difference. Okay. How it makes the difference when
Yes.
we talk about R12, when we talk about Fusion, that we are going to see. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Yep.
So that means there is some difference in the features.
Some difference, not too much of difference.
Okay.
Little difference.
Too much of it.
Yeah, because what Oracle
Okay,
has
fine.
here, I should give one note. Whatever the solution we have in EBS for financials, the same they copied to Fusion. That's it. Few things they here and there they change. That's all. I could say
Okay. No problem.
95% EBS financials they move to Fusion as it is. Only 5% difference you can find. Hope you got my point.
Yeah. True. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Any other questions here, please?
yeah, hi Lakshman. One question from my end.
Yeah, please.
So the table that you have projected on the screen, it has only 5 segments. So what is the min and max, number of segments that we usually see in the real-time
Now I'm introducing. I'm not trying.
projects, and what is the probability that we have?
No. Yeah, now I'm just introducing. I'm not trying to make you as expert. We have a time for that. I'll cover that. Yep. Again, I have to discuss many things. What are the best practices?
Okay, fine.
What points we have to notice? What we have to include? What should not be included as a part of chart of account? There is a lot of information. I'll cover all those. Yeah.
Sure, Lakshman. Sure. Thank you.
Fine. Any other questions? See, what are the questions you are asking? I am not making a note also. Reason? Everything I planned. Not only what you are asking, what you are not asking also I am going to cover, which are relevant to this, which you should understand. Once you get into the company when you are working, what you are expected to know to deliver that I am going to cover. So whatever we discussed on those points, any questions from anyone, please? Fine. No questions. Now I'll add one point. Okay, now I will add one point. We have Oracle Fusion General Ledger application. Within that, we have one feature called as accounting key flex field. By using accounting key flex field, we can create the chart of accounts. In chart of accounts, what data you want to maintain, that you have to segregate and you have to maintain. For segregation purpose, we are using the concept called as segments. Under each segment, we have to maintain the relevant data that we call as segment values. Since this is a spreadsheet, Excel, I am able to write all the companies under company title. I am able to list out all the departments under account title. The same way, under each title, I am able to list out the relevant information because this is Excel. The same is not possible within the system as a part of chart of accounts. By using the chart of accounts, if you want to maintain, say you have a company, within the chart of accounts, you have one company called as, you have one segment called as company. Under company segment, you have to maintain all the company values, company segment values. Is it possible directly in the system with the help of chart of accounts? No. If you want to maintain all the company values directly, you cannot enter under company segment in the system. For that, we have to use one concept called as value set. The system, what we do is, say, we'll create segment called as company. I'm taking one segment as an example. We'll take one segment called as company. And if I want to enter, if I want to enter companies, I cannot enter as per chart of accounts. It is not possible. Company segment I can create. Under company segment directly I cannot list out company segment values. It is not possible. Then how we have to manage? How to maintain the companies under company segment? How to maintain the department values under department segment? How to do that? For that, what we have to do is, if you want to maintain all the companies under company segment, for companies we have to create one value set. We have to create company value set. Under company value set, you can maintain all your what you have to do. If you want to maintain all the companies under company segment directly, it is not possible. We have to create, to maintain the companies, we have to create one value set. Value set means set of values. Which values? Company values. So that is the company values. So how many companies values we have? All you have to maintain separately with the concept called as company value set. So I want to maintain all the companies under company segment, not possible. What we have to do is, for company segment, create one value set, company value set, maintain all these values. Now that value set, within that value set, what are the values we have? Those are belongs to company. So this company value set you maintain, you assign to company segment. Now under this segment, these three companies will be available with the help of this value set. That's it. So directly we cannot maintain company values under company segment, department values under department segment, account values under account segment. Any segment values, if you want to maintain under any specific segment, first all we have to group them by using the concept called as value set. You want to maintain all the companies under company segment, so create company value set, assign company value set to company segment. Now you want to maintain all the departments under department value set, then create a department value set, maintain all the department values into department value set, then assign department value set to department segment. You want to maintain all the accounts under account segment, possible? No. Create accounts value set, maintain all the accounts in that account value set assigned to account segment, so that from that segment will have access to all those account values. So this is what we have to understand. Okay, so now I am introducing the concept called as value sets. So under segments, if you want to maintain value sets, segment values, what we require? Value set. Okay, this is how I'll introduce. Directly if I give that point, there will be confusion. If I drive you in this way, it is easy for you. So this is a point we have to understand. For every segment, if you want to maintain the segment values, first we have to create the value set. With the help of value set, these values can be associated to segments with the help of value set. So this is a point we have to understand. There are still few more points. There should be right time to discuss for our better understanding. Accordingly, I'll include. Now I can list out everything. That will become blind process of understanding and discussing. Okay. For now, get ready with these details. Okay, so to capture the description of every transaction, we need chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, we can segment, we can segregate the data with the concept called as segments. Can we maintain the segment values under each segment directly? No. For each segment, we have to create the separate value set. Remember, for each segment, we have to create the separate value set. And with the help of value set, we can maintain the values. That value sets we can assign to specific segment. For company, one value set, department, one value set, account, one value set, all the company values in the company value set, all the department values in the department value set. The company value set will assign to company segment, department value set will assign to department segment, account value set will assign to account segment. Inside will have a relevant values. Okay, so value set, you can say it's like container. It contains the relevant segment values. Company value set contains all companies. Department value set will contain all the departments. Account value set will contain all the accounts. So this is how it works. Any questions on this point, please? See, you may be from EBS background or may not be. You might have heard something somewhere. Don't include those points here. What we are discussing, just raise your questions on that, sir. And other points, what you are expecting, what you are not expecting, also I will explain. I'll cover. So that's what. Please.
Yeah, one question, Mr. Lakshman. You say, I mean, Oracle GL is one application under the financials, right?
Please go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah. What is your question?
Yeah. So GL is one application under the financials.
Yeah. In
financials, at the same time, when you're talking about the implementation project, is it a separate application or is it a, which application does it come under?
Implementation project?
Yeah.
Implementation project is not an application. To implement the applications, we create the project. Within one project, you can have one application or 100 applications. How many applications you are going to implement? So all applications we will take into the implementation project. With the help of implementation project, you can do the setups. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Have you attended the session where we created implementation project and we discussed a few points?
Yes.
Yeah, there what we did, we created project and we selected offerings and options, right? When you open any implementation project, there you can see only financials or financials and procurement. What are the offerings and options you are adding? Those will be inside of it. Once you enter into that project, what are the offerings and options we added? You will be able to do the setups only for those. Then you create an implementation project and you selected financials into that. Again, within the financials, you selected only GL APR. Okay, you didn't select fixed assets, for example. You cannot do any setups for fixed assets by entering into that project. You created one more project and you selected all financials applications and procurement also. If you are in that project, you will be able to do the setups for finance as well as procurement. So this is all. What we are selecting into that project, accordingly you can do the setups. That means you can do the implementation. When you say implementation system point of view, implementation means setups only. Overall project point of view, there are a lot many activities, different phases. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions here? So one request from my end. Okay. So few guys, please don't think what nonsense is going on, what are the too many questions, and these are this sort of discussion. It should be little fast, this and that. Please, in the initial sessions, okay, this is what the very fundamental things we have to understand. Let's go a little slow in the few initial classes. Later, I am not telling I'll go in fast track and all. No, everything we have to understand and we'll go. Definitely, we have to discuss. It is not a technical course; it's a functional. The more we discuss and the more questions will become good enough. That's very important. I have enough patience to answer any sort of silly questions or wonderful questions or medium questions or nothing. Okay, but you also get ready. We'll spend good amount of time for discussions. Okay, don't think others are wasting your time. No, the discussions are very important. You also try to raise your questions. Please don't mind. Please. Yeah, please go ahead. Any questions, please? Okay. So very soon, now I'll take you through this, how to create in the system. Already we have seen how to create the calendar, how to just go through that currency information. In the same way, now we'll go through the system, how to create this chart of accounts. So I'll introduce. Once you are comfortable how to create the chart of accounts, I'll add lot of other information related to chart of accounts, reality, how it works, what else we have to understand. Okay, the entire implementation will be decided based on the chart of accounts. If you are able to design the best chart of accounts, we can say entire implementation is successful. If you fail to design the best chart of accounts, entire implementation will be failed. And what are the key points we have to consider? What are the best practices to design the chart of accounts? I will explain very soon. For now, these are the points we have to understand. Based on this, we'll go on to create the chart of accounts. Yes, somebody saying something. Yeah, please. I think there was some noise. No? Fine. Okay, if no questions, we'll proceed and we'll create the chart of accounts in the system. Okay. So where we can create, already we discussed in the accounting key flex field. The accounting key flex field, where we have accounting key flex field, we have in the general ledger application, right? These are the points we discussed. Done. Right. Now here, say create chart of accounts. COA, chart of accounts means COA. So this codes, company, department, account, project, etc., etc. These codes simply we call as code combination. Short CC. When you record any transactions, we select the date. Date should belong. Data ideally it would belongs to specific period, and what are the amount we are entering, that we address with some currency. And when you talk about description, we capture the codes. When you have a multiple codes, automatically it will become combination of codes. That means code combination, CC we call. Out of all these codes, which code is very important for us? Within this multiple codes, which code is very important? Account. Okay. Fourth, this is the computer sales. So out of all the segments, which segment is very important? You can say account. After account, which segment is important? Company. What you are spending for which in which company, what you are spending, that is very important. Again, still if you want to get details in that company, in which department you are spending, that is the next point. But very fundamental thing is what you are doing is the high priority. That means account is high priority. After account, the best segment what you have to maintain is company. That same activity where you are doing, in which company you are doing, in that company, in which departments, the third priority is department. The remaining all that totally depends on your business. In every organization, very highest priority is account. After account, next priority is company. The third priority goes to department. The fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, whatever they want, they can decide as per their business. But very generally, the top priority for account, the next priority goes to company, third priority go to department. This is how you have to understand. Okay. So how many segments we have to create, how many we can create, these are many other points we have, we'll discuss very soon. But now just let's see, just as to introduce how to create chart of accounts system, I'll take you through what are the steps are involved to create the chart of accounts also, we'll see. So here to create the chart of accounts, what sequence of setups we have to follow, I'm going to discuss. So here we discussed few points. Okay. So just remember this. Based on this, I'm going to add something else that we have to see as a part of setups only. Okay. First, what we have to do is we have to create the value sets first. Create value sets for each segment. How many segments we are planning to create, accordingly we'll create the value sets. Here we discussed 5 segments. For our practice, we may create 2 segments or 3 segments. Again, I'll create chart of accounts with the 7-8 segments. There I'll explain more detail level. Now, since we are just getting introduced to this chart of accounts, how to create, we have to understand with how many segments doesn't matter. But in our classes, I'll cover how to create with the number of segments, how reality companies will create, that also I'll cover. So anyway, we'll create first we have, if you want to create the chart of accounts, first we have to create the value sets. After creating the value sets, so we have to create the chart of account structure. Chart of account structure means that includes all this. Okay, but first we have to create the value sets separately. Those value sets we have to include into the chart of accounts, where we assign the value set to segments. So after creating the value sets, we have to create the chart of accounts structure name. Okay, chart of accounts structure name. Say create chart of accounts structure. Why we are calling a structure here is chart of accounts only. It is following some structure, some hierarchy, top level, some name, under that segments, under segments this. For each segment value set, this follows certain hierarchy and structure. So instead of simply calling it a chart of accounts, you can call a chart of account structure or call it a chart of accounts only. Nothing goes wrong. But generally we use the term called as chart of accounts structure. Okay, chart of accounts structure, or you can call as chart of accounts. Within the chart of accounts, what we have to create? We have to create segments. Create segments. And each segment, what we have to assign? Each segment we have to assign the value set. For company segment, company value set. Department segment, department value set. This is how we have to assign the segment value sets. Say assign value sets to segments. And I'll add one more point. You don't try to find the colors in that point. Just see that and read and remember. When we do, you will understand. Okay, when you see something new, like you think like just I am trying to introduce that term only. Otherwise, directly I can show everything in the system, but that is not right practice. Before whatever I am going to show in the system, I'll introduce wherever possible I will explain, which is not possible to discuss before we look into the system, that I am not going to explain. Whenever we see in the system, there I will address about that more detail level. Okay, this is what I am going to do. So assign value sets to segments. Okay, for company value set, department value set. That's how we have to assign. In the same way, we have to assign segment labels to segments. You don't know this point. We didn't discuss. Okay, what is the meaning of segment labels to segments? We will discuss. The guys who are from EBS background, for them also I'll give the note what we call in EBS, what we are calling in the Fusion. That point also I'll explain when we are doing in the system. Okay, done. Assign segment labels to segments. Then what we have to do is we have to create chart of accounts structure instance. How to create chart of account structure instance. Then we have to deploy accounting key flex field. Then we have to create segment values, and we have to assign value attributes, segment values. Now our chart of accounts should be ready. Okay, to understand the concept, you just look at these parts. Okay, chart of accounts means to maintain the organization information, what you want to capture as a part of each and every transaction description. For the purpose of reporting purpose, we have to create the chart of accounts. Where we can create the chart of accounts? Within the accounting key flex field. Accounting key flex field is available in which application? General ledger application. How to create the chart of accounts? Within the chart of accounts, we have to create the segments. For each segment, we have to create the value sets, and we have to create the segment values inside of the value set. Those value sets we have to assign to segments. That is a point. When it comes to the same, whatever the concept we are to understand the concept, I explained in this way. To execute the same in the system point of view, what steps we have to follow? This is what we have to understand. Okay. So to create the chart of accounts, first we have to create the value sets. How many value sets we have to create? How many segments we are going to create in the chart of accounts? Those many value sets we have to create. Then for our chart of accounts, we have to give the name. The name only I am calling as create chart of account structure. Create chart of account structure is nothing but just I am giving the name. After giving the name, inside I will create the segments. For each segment, I'll associate the relevant value set. For company, company value set. For department, department value set. Then what is the next step we will do? We have to assign the segment labels to segment. What does it mean by segment labels? We don't know as of now. We'll come to know very soon. Then we have to create the chart of account structure instance. What is the meaning of chart of account structure instance? We never discussed about it. We will discuss and we will understand. And we have to deploy the accounting key flex field. We know accounting key flex field. Okay, within the accounting key flex field only, we are creating a chart of accounts. So that we have to deploy. Why we have to deploy? And if you don't deploy, what happens when we have to deploy? What is the meaning of that? We will understand. And create segment values. Already we discussed. For each segment, we have to create the segment values. Where we can create the segment values? Anyone? Where we can, as per our discussion only, I am asking. Where we have to create the segment values? You may respond. Where we have to create the segment values? Anyone, please? Where we have to create the segment values?
Is it not in the segment?
Sorry?
Under value sets, we can create the segment value.
We have to create the segment values in value. So, okay. Create segment values in value set. Those value sets we have to assign to segments anyway. Okay, that already we discussed here. Then finally, we have to assign value attributes to segment values. What does it mean by value attributes? We'll understand. Okay. For now, just remember these points. Okay. For now, if you want to capture the description for any transaction, we have to keep the relevant information ready in the system. That we can keep ready in the system with the help of concept called a chart of accounts. So if you want to create the chart of accounts, we have to follow these steps. These are the sequence of steps we have to follow. I am giving in the sequence. I'm not just listing out what we have to do inside of the chart of accounts without any sequence. Whatever I written, the same sequence you have to follow. If you don't follow the same sequence, you cannot do the further setups. There will be one issue also that I'll explain when we really do this in the system environment. Okay. Now, instead of starting and stopping in the mid of this chart of accounts, better I'll show that complete chart of account creation and other points in the tomorrow session. But today, if you have any questions, please. I could say like we done for today. Okay.
Yeah, hi Lakshman.
Please don't mind, just I am not taking sessions exactly 1.5 hours for now. Just we will just the beginning classes. Many people may be very new. They have to practice. They have to be comfortable with this terminology. Once these terms will become friendly to us, means once we come to know about this terminology and all, we can go a little fast. That means how much means what level everyone can understand, that much fast we can go. And the initial sessions, we may not run the session for as we planned like 1 hour 30 minutes. It may be more or less 1 hour. It would be more than 1 hour. So after 5-6 sessions, after maybe from next week onwards, we'll try to spend a little bit more time. My request to everyone is who are attending the classes, you should practice. You should spend time to read and remember all these things. Yeah, we're done for today. If you have any questions, you can stay back, or else no further discussions. Yeah, please.
Yeah, hi Lakshman.
Lakshman, is there a difference between Fusion and EBS?
Is there any
difference between Fusion and EBS?
Yeah.
EBS includes in Fusion only, na?
Yeah, correct. Okay. When we, but see, the person is same. When the person is living in India and when person is living in US, the lifestyle will be changed and many things will be changed, right? Entity is same. Person is same. Where the person is residing, that environment will impact a lot, right? The same way, EBS and Fusion is same. Like India and US both are countries only. There's a lot of difference. In the same way, the application may be same, but when it is in EBS, the behavior and that lifestyle or the attitude will be different when you compare with the Fusion. That's how it is slightly different. That we are going to understand. Hope you got my point.
Yeah, Lakshman, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, hi Lakshman, I have a question. Hi Lakshman, one question here.
Please.
Yeah, since you explained us step by step, so we got to know what to do, what not to do,
Salim, don't
as
mind.
per
All the time
chronological
there is
order.
some
But
audio
what is the case?
from
Do you
your
have?
end. One second. All the time there is audio issue. Whenever you speak, I am noticing that there is some issue from your end with audio. Voice is breaking. Please try to fix at least by tomorrow. But now we can proceed. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sure, Lakshman. Now, kindly confirm. Are you still facing the same issue, or is it fine now?
I am facing. Please go ahead. No problem.
Still. Okay, since you explained the step-by-step criteria, so we got to know that. But do we have the do we have kind of thing like where Oracle Fusion will direct us what to do, what not to do step by step? Do we find this kind of case in Oracle window?
No. In the window,
like in
some document in the.
You said create value sets and thereby.
No, see, but exactly sequence you cannot find. There will be some other activities also which will be in between, which are not required. Through classes, you can grab the complete information. And again, when we are doing in the system also, I'll touch those points what you are raising as a question. Yeah.
Yeah, fine, Lakshman. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
So, Lakshman, as we discussed, I hope you will send today, after the class, you will send those data for the last week's class, right?
Yeah, everything.
The data dump.
Sure. We are really sorry for the delay. I'll send for sure.
No, that's fine. Yeah, yeah, that's what, that's it. Thank you.
Sure, Neil. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Lakshman, will you complete the course before December 31st?
So October.
Because it's a 3 months course, right?
Okay. We'll take just the actual period is 2 months our plan. If any delays, maybe 2 more weeks. We no need to wait till December ending. We'll complete very early. Okay.
If it completes within 2 months,
after a few days we will run the session
because my company has started, so I need to work.
No. After a few days we will run the session for 2 hours. Now we are running for one and a half hour. That's what we plan, but we are spending less time than that. So going forward, we will just fix the time slot like 2 hours. Maybe we can, as we already discussed, we can just prepone to 7 or at least 7:30. That's how we'll be able to, because see, everything should get ready with this course and content. It's very new. They have to start working on it.
If it is possible, please make it like 7 to 9. Actually, I used to log in.
You raised that point before your question only. I was telling the same. That's how we run each and every batch. Earlier we were running each and every batch like 6 to 8, but 6 it became early for many people. Still we just run many batches. But now we planned at least it should be more comfortable for different time zone people. That's the reason we planned 7 to 9. Okay, we'll do that very soon. We'll just we'll inform and we'll start working on that. Yeah. Fine. So any questions, please? Yeah.
Morning,
voice is breaking. See,
so I just want to know,
have a
meeting links. So do you
hotspot, or if you have low bandwidth of internet connectivity, you will have some challenges. That will become a lot of inconvenience for other participants also. I cannot entertain that sort of participant questions. I'm sorry for that, because I don't want to create inconvenience for others. If your line is clear, I'm very much happy to answer for one or multiple questions. Please make sure that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's good. Please.
Okay. So just wanted to know regarding meeting links. So do you send the meeting links every morning before the class via email?
Before 10 minutes.
Okay.
we will send.
Okay. Is it possible you can add my email address as well, because I'm not receiving the meeting link? So Satish usually sends.
That's
me.
what I'm almost from half of mail IDs I collected, remaining or pending.
Okay.
I'll get your ID also today. Your name, you tell me name, don't say your email ID.
Okay.
Your name is
Yeah, it's Pulkit.
yeah, great.
Pulkit, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just cross check.
Thank you so much.
To include, I'll get mail IDs from my team. I'll anyway cross check.
All right. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks. Right. Great. Any other questions, please?
Sir, can we expect today the share drive access and the link for that?
Yeah. Sorry, I'll do that. Yeah. Like Banu Prakash, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
I'll do that. I'll definitely. I'll do that. It will not be delay.
I sent multiple emails to Cyberbat.
Sorry. Really sorry for that. Today I'll fix it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much. Okay. Seems to no questions. We'll connect tomorrow same time and we'll continue from here. Already in the drive, all the videos are there, including yesterday's session. And till yesterday, whatever the sheet we used in the class for a class discussion, that sheet also be placed. My request is don't delete those videos or class discussion related sheet. That is not just for you. That is for many other guys also. So just if you want to download and leave it as it is. Don't delete it. Don't delete any videos. We are not going to share the Google Drive again and again who already received. I'm going to just drop the today's session video in the same drive. You can go and open, you can find this video. Maybe everyday session video you will find after 1 hour, because the conversion will take time, 45 minutes, 1 hour time it will take. Once conversion is done, we'll immediately place in the drive. You can access everyday session video from the same drive. If you need batch videos also, yes, share the complete set of videos you can get. And just you can inform to us, you can reply to the email, or you can keep in touch with our team so that you will get previous batch videos. Almost the people who already completed formalities of making the payment and all, we shared. Still, if you think it is missing, it is not missing. There could be in the trash or some other folders. Somehow you might have missed out. Those could be the reasons. Reality, we shared with everyone who just done with the formalities. If any points you want to discuss with our team, you can talk to them and we can work on those and we can fix the issues. Yeah. So,
So Lakshman sir, I have not received the